How's it going, gamers? It's me, Quakeski, and today we're playing Chivalry 2. So with this video, I will be giving you the information regarding the Bowman class, the Archer class, or the Javelin type that you will be saying, and the other one which is the Crossbowman. So with this kind of video, I'm just mostly stating the facts that was a tip for Chivalry 2. And aside from that, it's information for people who is not yet playing or they haven't reached that amount of level to access all the stuff for Chivalry 2. So this is for the Archer class. Aside from that, I also got other videos for the Knight class, for the Vanguard class, and for the Footman class. I will leave it up to the description for you guys to access it. And mostly, if you like the video and the content, please subscribe and like the video, because this will help me a lot with the growing up the channel. So if you have anything to say to me, like tips for the video or any games that you would like for me to cover, just leave it down in the comments below. I'm definitely gonna look into it. So without further ado, this is the tips for the Archer class. So the Archer class is the first one that is unlocked. It's readily available in the game. It's a bit hard to use, it's a bit finicky, and most importantly, you should be using the Archer class when you're playing it in first person. And the first subclass for the Archer class is the Longbowman. The Longbowman, or the whole Archer class, has 90 health, 100 speed, and 50 stamina. It's classic scout, great for supporting enemies from long range with high volume of shot. So basically, the first one that will happen is that you go in front or somewhere on top and you try to shower down your enemies with a lot of arrows, and you try as much as possible to avoid your teammates. Just a pro tip when you're playing the Longbowman is that when the enemy is already near, you have to try your best to, maximize the time that you'll be wearing your secondary weapon and fight with it. Because if you're wearing your longbow, you won't be able to defend yourself. So the Longbowman has variable draw strength, and holding the bow drawn drains stamina and reduces accuracy. And a placeable item, which is a brazier, a placeable fire source for igniting arrows and bolts. And you also do a focus while you're holding the right mouse button. A passive skill for the Longbowman is the Headhunter, which headshots charges the item. So basically, the Longbowman is pretty weak. But the good thing about the Longbowman is you don't have to be strong to gain some kills, because you can kill steal from other teammates. But the thing is, it's not that good. I mean, you're only hitting most of the time. When I saw that, it's about 45 damage. And once the enemy is already in front of you, you can't defend on yourself. You will have to press the number 2 for your secondary weapon, which can block, which is usually a knife. But it won't be enough, and the stamina is just 50. That means a couple of shots to you is going to render you armless. So the next one that you unlock is the Crossbowman. You unlock the Crossbowman at level 4. The Crossbowman has typically higher damage than the Longbowman, but with that increased damage comes a drawback that you need to reload your weapon, which takes a bit of time. At least you don't need to draw your weapon, but in my experience it has a shorter range. But the good thing is it's really powerful. I've seen some damage of the crossbow reach up to 80 damage. And that's devastating to other archers and to the Vanguard class. So it has the same stats as all the Archer class, where the description is it's anti-armor sniper that can plant a mobile shield as a cover. Dev says it's extra effective against footmen and knights. Reloading requires you to stand still, which leaves you vulnerable to other attacks. So as a placeable skill is your banner, a plantable banner that heals nearby allies over time, which is really good in getting those points up. And you also will have focus as your right mouse button. It tries to zoom in while you're aiming for the enemies. And as a passive skill, you got your Headhunter, which charges an item. And I know it doesn't show here in the screen, but there is a placeable item that you can put on the ground, and that is the wall, or a shield wall. that basically hides you from other enemies, other enemy archer, other enemy throwables that can hit you. So what you need to do when you're playing a crossbowman and optimize your kills is that you go somewhere in an elevated area and then you try to hit your enemies in the head. You do headshots, and that's wonderful. But if you're feeling overwhelmed and the enemies is already coming, you have to run for it, because there's no way that you're gonna be able to fight back with your crossbow in your arms. You need to set up your secondary weapon and try to block with it, and you know, being lucky, kill with your knife. So you have to be really careful when you're playing the crossbowman, because that every time that you reload, you're vulnerable. You're stationary in your one area, and then the enemy can hit you up with an archer or anything that can be throwable, and you won't be able to dodge it. So the last but definitely not the least is the Javeliner. The Javeliner, or the Javelin man, is the one that holding a javelin in one hand and a shield on the other. But the shield can be swapped with other weapons, I believe, like a knife or something, or another throwable. But the Javelin man has the highest damage for the archer class. It's definitely higher than the crossbowman, because a javelin can one-shot a person, one-shot an archer class in the head. The good thing about this javelin class is that the javelin acts as a single-handed spear. You can basically throw 5 of them, and then once you're already done with the 5, you can keep one and keep fighting with just one-handed spear. You can try and skirmish with your enemies, and at the end of the day, you can just throw it in their face. So guys, the skirmisher is the Javelin man, or the Javeliner that I was talking about. It's a hybrid melee range fighter that throws weapons and places traps. The good thing about the skirmisher is that the throwing weapons are also effective in melee. However, the downside of being a skirmisher is that you engage in melee combat, but you still have low health and stamina for being a melee fighter, which gives it a bit of disadvantage when trying to go one-on-one, but at least you're not really totally useless when you're using your bow or your crossbow. And as for its skill, you got your quiver, which restocks all your ammo, and a leaping strike for a special that deals damage and staggers. As for this passive skill, it got its headhunter. So for the weapon of the skirmisher, you get the javelins, and you will have a throwing axe after level 15. As for your secondary, you'll be wearing yours. Obviously, it's going to be a knife, but if you progress further, you will be having a decent kind of weapon at level 13. Although it says here it's a tertiary weapon, it's not really a tertiary weapon because you're already equipping that shield. So good thing is that you will be wearing one shield on one hand and the other is your javelin. So basically what you can do is that you will be setting up traps while you're fighting your enemies. And that's a good thing, is because you don't want to, you know, you can set up a trap in front of you and then you get your enemy to walk over that trap and got harpooned with that spear. So the basic thing that could happen is that while you're fighting your enemy, you need to be side by side with your teammates, because basically you're the ideal assist. Every time you hit your weapon, you throw at the enemy at the same time when they're not expecting it. And the good thing is that you will be able to defend yourself as well. When the enemy is coming at you, then you will have the option to raise up your shield and fight for your life. So the good thing with the skirmisher is that you will not be as vulnerable as the bowman and the crossbowman. So the takeaway information for this video regarding the archer class is that it basically acts as a support. then you don't have to go one-on-one with your enemy, and at the first sign of your enemy trying to charge at you, back off, step backwards, try to equip your secondary weapon, and try to at least survive the attack. It's not going to be as the skirmisher class, but that's the good thing, is that you can be really flexible in your attacks. You can, put some distance between you and your enemy, and you knock them off with your special. Try jumping and throwing your spear or javelin, and after I throw my 5th javelin, I starts to become a throwing monster, because every weapon that I see on the ground, I just pick it up and throw it again. And that's it for the archer class. I hope you liked the video and become a better archer in playing Chivalry 2. Thanks again, it's me, Quakeski. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you in the next video. Bye. Thanks for watching, guys, and if you liked the video, please smash hard on the like. And if you want more content like this, please do subscribe. Check out my channel, check out my other videos. That way you can help this channel to grow. That way, getting more inspired to do more content like this. I promise I won't be that annoying, only for your pleasure of learning new games and watching new gameplay to pique your interest. Any tips to the game? Please do comment to let me know how to improve gameplay, the video, and the channel itself. That's it. See you on the next video, guys. Thank you.